Hi everybody, this is Kazam from Kazam3D.com. Welcome to another video. We're going to talk about reactive dForce in this edition. And so we have a Genesis 8 female here. She's wearing the straight A schoolgirl outfit. And I wanted to show you this particular outfit in this because it uses a little bit of both dForce and reactive dForce. Now, reactive dForce is not a separate product or anything like that. Make sure that button is not visible in the simulation. What reactive dForce is, it's a different way of thinking about using dForce. And when you design a mesh, for instance, this skirt, from the time you model it, in our case, we use Blender to model everything. But from the time you start modeling it, you've already decided that it's going to use reactive dForce and also maybe some other kinds of, a normal type of dForce, which is like the skirt falling down. Okay. And you think about that from the very beginning. So every polygon, every vertex, everything you lay down, everything you do about it as you're building the mesh, before it's even an object or an asset in DAZ, has this in mind. Okay. So what we have here is the skirt actually has a reactive and it has non-reactive dForce. Reactive would be the waistline, the waistband here, where it will snug up to the character. Okay. Same with the shirt. The shirt has some reactive dForce in the torso, so that it snugs up to the character's torso, but then the rest of it has normal, quote-unquote, dForce in operation. This may not be the greatest example that I could have shown you, but it's the greatest example that I can get away with in YouTube. And to make that even more of a sure thing, do I have... No, I don't, so we're just going to go for it, just the way it is. Maybe go to smooth shaded or texture shaded here. That might help. Okay. So basically, when you run one of our simulations, one of our products, all you do is you load it and you run a simulation. That's it. That's all there is to it. There may be some cleanup that you can do with morphs afterwards. And we provide morphs for that. So anyway, there you can see the two different kinds of dForce in action. You can see that around the bust, that shirt snugged up, okay? Around the bottom of the shirt, it's snugged up a bit. That's reactive dForce, okay? But the rest of the shirt uses normal dForce. Same thing with the skirt. The skirt uses normal dForce down here, but reactive dForce took care of making it fit around the waist realistically, and we'll excuse me, when this is done stabilizing, there we go, we'll spin it around and you can see what I'm talking about. Let's move it down like this and you can see, for instance, here we go, here's a very good example of what reactive dForce does for you. You can see here, normally when you have any kind of a pant, a skirt, a pair of shorts, a bikini, it doesn't matter what it is. If it does not employ reactive dForce, this portion right here between the belly and the tip of the hip bone there will bend in. It'll conform to the mesh of the character. And then you have to try to come up with a morph that is useful enough that anticipates every character style, every pose, everything else. And that's a fool's errand. Why not just use dForce to do it, which is what we do. That's reactive dForce. It's a small example of how it works. It would do the same thing across a fanny crack, let's say, on something else that fit lower. But reactive dForce will cause this to conform to your character, fall to the proper place on your character, and fit realistically. Okay, it does just as good a job as regular dForce does with, say, the skirt here. And again, same thing on the shirt. Okay, the collar, the button seams, buttonholes, the sleeves, the cuffs, those are all normal, quote unquote, normal dForce, standard dForce application. Whereas the torso, especially on the front and a little bit more on the bottom, it actually snugs in and conforms. So you can see that gives you a realistic fit all the way around. It doesn't simply drape over your character and then depend on the creator to make some morphs to try to make all of that right. There are morphs with this object, with this for sure, but they're just for cleanup type things. Not a big deal. You definitely want to run dForce, and it really is that simple. When I say in the README files, load the garment, run a simulation, bingo, you're done. This is exactly what I'm talking about. See that? We're done. We're done. I want to give you a better example of reactive dForce when it comes to the socks here. And I'm going to have to be careful about this because I don't want to point the camera up at the wrong time, if you know what I mean. Let's go ahead and clear it. Okay, and you can see that the socks fit over the feet. There's also some shoes. Okay, shoe left and right. Now the shoes don't have dForce, but the socks do. Okay, they have reactive dForce. You can see that the socks will poke through the shoes, and rather than create a morph that tries to anticipate, you know, what position her feet are going to be in, et cetera, yada, 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 let's just use reactive dForce, right? So we're going to take our shoes and we're going to hide them again, shoe left, shoe right, and I want you to watch the socks carefully. Boom. See that? Let me do it again because I had one of them hidden. Let's simulate it again. Boom. There you go. So the socks have snugged up to the character's feet. All right. And there are some morphs with these socks. Let's, oops. There are some morphs with these socks. Basically for just straightening out any problems you might have around the toes or something. They're just ways of, you know, making sure that you don't have any poke-through issues with that. So this is stabilizing. I probably could have gone ahead and hidden the skirt and the shirt, so this would have gone a little faster. But it is what it is. I'm going to go ahead and cancel that because it's done with the socks. So there we go. And if we go to iRay preview mode, these little quarter socks that come with this outfit are perfectly acceptable to use without shoes over the top of them, and this is why. You see that? They snug right up to the feet, and it gives you a realistic look. That's reactive dForce. That's what it does. So, okay, if I have confused you, I'm sorry. If I've made anything clearer, you know, drop a penny in my hat on the sidewalk, right? In other words, hit the like and subscribe if you found this useful. I don't have a regular video release schedule. We're not a professional operation like that. We just try to get some information out to people. So if you hit the subscribe and the bell button, then of course it will, as you know, notify you when we put a new mess up online for you to sort through. Until the next time, this is Cosam from CosAm3D.com saying happy rendering.